What's up?
Good morning.
Good morning to a few people, but most likely good afternoon to the rest of you guys. You guys out there, what's happening?
Are you getting ready for the East Coast?
Yeah, I'm getting ready for the East Coast. Gonna have me some lobster rolls, some hot wieners. What else? What else am I gonna have?
Not the party pizza, apparently. We're not gonna have another party pizza conversation.
I'll eat. You're the one who started it right now. You started right off the bat. You can't be like, oh, hey, we're not going to talk about this thing that I just brought up for you not to talk about. Listen, I actually don't think party pizza is terrible. It's just not pizza, okay? Call it something else. Call it saucy bread. And they'll be like, yeah, I'll have a piece of saucy bread, but I don't want a piece of pizza if that's what you're calling pizza, because it's not pizza, okay? Okay? Okay?
Fair enough.
But I'll eat your hot wieners all day.
Gross.
You know what I'm saying, G?
You're so gross. G as in Jesus.
He's hanging out. He's watching over us.
Jesus from Allison.
He's the new show mascot. But anyway, guys, what is happening? It's Wednesday. What's Wednesday? What's Wednesday all about?
Wednesdays are Bossip and List Day. Wednesday is the day that we hold our all-day virtual Boss Up and List party, and it starts in the Boss Facebook group. The link is below. If you're not in our Facebook group, we would love to have you in there. It's an eBay-centric group.
We do the fools not in the Boss Facebook
but
group.
We do talk about all different platforms.
Mm-hmm.
There are sellers on Posh and on Etsy and Facebook Marketplace and on Amazon, but majority of us are eBay sellers primarily. And Wednesday is kind of our day where it's our accountability day. We kind of check in every day.
Mm-hmm.
We check in every day anyway, but we check in specifically Wednesday and talk about our goals. And it's our virtual coworker check-in at the water cooler on the Facebook.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube.
And whatnot. Anyway, guys, what is going on? I see Allison joining us. Allison, I don't know if you just popped in just now, but we were just talking about our old pal G back there. Who you sent for us. I'm loving him.
Your old pal J.
No, Jesus. I call him G. Okay? G for short, not J. Jesus. Does G sound like J? No.
Okay.
No.
Anyway.
Don't insult him. Okay?
Shane Flippin' Fines. Hello.
David
Smith from Florida is here. For Fever. Thank you for the good hair, Dad. This is just straight. This is so I don't have to do it again tomorrow because we leave for the airport at 5 a.m.
I want to talk about Deb Smith. This is my first day as a full-time reseller. I lost my job yesterday. Okay, so Deb, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing in your book. But you know what? If it's a bad thing, you can make it a good thing. And if it's a good thing, then congratulations, because now I guess you are a full-time reseller. Hopefully you're ready to hit the ground running, and you
can do it. And there's plenty of support in our Facebook group and different YouTube shows as ours, of course, but there's lots of great information out there. Just don't get paralyzed and work hard at it. I will tell you, that's both how Katie and I both got started and went full-time. I was a part-time seller for years and years and years until I lost my job and went, well, shit, I guess it's time to put up or shut up.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get another job.
Well, and you know, it's true for a lot of people. A lot of times it's when you're kind of like pushed off the cliff, and then that's when you really excel, because you're kind of forced to make it work, because you don't have the safety net of your job anymore. And for me, you know, I left my job to start my own business, and I was trying to start a small business marketing consulting firm. And as I was starting that, as that was very, doing all the work to kind of get that off the ground, I had 6 months of unemployment at the time. So it was like 6 months to make this work. And I started doing eBay at the same time. And it just turned out that eBay, I could see the possibilities of eBay growing a lot faster. And so pretty much almost right away, I'd say within the first month, I just went headfirst into it, and I put everything into that. And because it's like I had this deadline ahead of me of like, I had to make it happen within a certain amount of time, or I was going to have to like go and get a real job working for somebody else. And let me tell you, that necessity of success is what made it happen. Yep. I think so.
I worked full time, and I didn't love my job, but I liked my job. But I worked full time and in sales, so I worked a lot of nights and a lot of weekends. So eBay was my part-time thing, and I loved it and did very well part-time. As a matter of fact, I probably did as well part-time as some people do full-time that do it on a smaller scale. But it wasn't quite enough. to sustain myself. And I was married at the time, so there was another income there. But when I lost my job, we did need my income. And it was, okay, so either you go out and find another job right now, or you somehow make this work.
Yeah.
So I went back to school full time and started doing eBay full time instead. And you know what? It was the best thing that I did. I was paralyzed with fear for the first week. I cried. I felt like crap. Losing your job feels awful. I don't care if you quit your job, unless you quit with like in victory because you're super excited to do so. Losing a job is devastating, whether you're let go, fired, laid off, whatever it is. It's emotionally draining and scary. So it's happened to me twice, and they were both awful experiences. So I wallowed in it for like a week, and then I finally said, okay, time to put on my big girl pants.
Would you say you were a crybaby pee-pee pants?
I was a crybaby pee-pee pants. I was devastated, and I was scared. And like most people, we were paycheck to paycheck with very little cushion to fall back on, and it was difficult. So yeah, and Deb, I totally get it. So it's and then last year, obviously, well, a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now, I went through my divorce, and I was a two income person that went to a one income person. Even though Katie moved in a few months later, I went to a one income person with all of the same household bills because everything was in my name. So
is that why you moved me in?
Yeah, that's it. I just needed your paycheck.
Rude.
Whatever.
Rude. But Deb, if you haven't seen it yet, like probably about a year ago, I did a video because Theresa was going to be speaking at some event, and she wanted tips on reselling, particularly on being a full-time reseller. And so I had sent her like this list, and I just decided to make a video about it. And so there's a video that I did, I think it was about a year ago. If you just go look at our videos and do a search for like 2018 reseller, or no, 2018 like full-time or something like that, it'll come up. And I think it's got some really good tips for people who are trying to make it happen full-time and be successful, because it is a whole different ballgame now. But if you have the full time to put into it, which you do now, you really can make it work. You really can.
It's all about discipline and treating this like the job that you had. If you worked full-time before and you worked full-time hours, then you need to put in full-time hours plus some on this job, and consider it a job, and just focus. And, you turn your phone off, and you turn off Facebook, and you turn off YouTube and all that crap, and just focus on it. And yeah, Jackie said she was fired after 16 years and it crushed me. It's a devastating feeling. I don't care if you've been there 6 months, or 16 years has to be even worse. But being fired or being let go or being downsized or outsized or outsourced, or however the hell you want to put it, it's the same thing. Somebody doesn't want you anymore. And it's a rejection, and it feels devastating, especially because your career is and your job is very much tied up in your identity, and that, as it is for most people. And when that happens, you kind of you flounder.
Well, Theresa went through it too, and look at how she is doing now. So
yeah, Theresa was downsized.
So anyway, yeah. So good luck. Oh, is it hurting your head?
It is. Good luck. You can do it. If you get discouraged or you need a pep talk, pop into the Boss Facebook group and just make a post about it, because I guarantee there are going to be other people that are going to feel the same way. And there's nothing wrong with getting a little pat on the back or kick in the ass or positive reinforcement when you need it. And,
for sure.
That's what we're there for
sure. Red Neckerson Resales coming in with his $1.77 super chat, so we get a little bit of yay. Anyway, guys, love having you here. So I see people already saying, I think they're talking to us about have a great trip, Lisa. So for any of you that don't know, we are leaving tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Well, our flight is at 7 a.m. and
we're leaving at 5 a.m. to go to the airport.
Our flight's at 7 a.m. and
which means we're going to get up at 4.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which means that we may as well not go to bed. I mean,
pretty much. Yeah, and Allison, Casey lost her job too.
Yeah, Casey, her wife, is a full-time caregiver, and
yeah, so her
patient passed away.
Well, it was somebody who was very much considered
more than a patient
family at this point.
She was caring
17 years.
That's
17 years. Somebody that they were very, very close to and considered family. So that's really hard, but. Yeah, and so it looks like Allison's got a new challenge ahead of her.
Allison's going to have to start listing that death pile for sure.
Luckily, Allison, though, you have so much amazing stuff there, and you're always finding amazing stuff. I think that you are up to the challenge. So, man, tough stuff today.
Red Neckerson, we love y'all too.
Thank you. Maui Delights, $5 super chat. I got a little super chat for you right here. Super chat, super chat, super chat. Maui Delights, when are you gonna come to a meetup? Come on, what's the deal? What's the holdup? You met Victoria. I'm super jealous. I need you to come to a meetup and hang out with us.
Speaking of meetups, we've got Crystal, Rosie's Closet. Long time no see, girl.
Yeah.
We miss you. Hopefully you can make it to a meetup sometime soon. We haven't seen you in a bit. I know you're busy making it work.
Speaking of meetups, and I see Connecticut girl right there saying hi from Connecticut. Speaking of meetups and Connecticut and just the East Coast, New England in general.
I hope we're gonna see you, Connecticut girl.
Guys, we are leaving crazy early tomorrow morning to head to Rhode Island. Okay. We have a lot of stuff going on because we're going to be visiting with Vicky's family.
That's where my family
friends
from.
Everything.
So family and friends this is a really short trip. This is like 4.5 days. Normally I go for 8 days. 4.5 days is an awful lot to get jammed in because we're not going to be going again for 18 months. We're not going again until the end of fall of next year. So it's a short trip and it's going to be a long time between trips. So
we're going to be jam packed the whole weekend, but we have set aside time on Monday. We are going to be at the Massachusetts meetup, guys, on Monday. That's the 13th, Monday. We're going to be there. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen real quick because I have the little event thing showing here so you guys can see it. But hey, I actually there's a link down below to the Facebook group for this meetup. But this is the information. It's going to be on Monday, which is the 13th. We're going to be at the Massachusetts meetup. So we're going to be in East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, wherever the heck that is. I don't know. I've never been there.
I know, and I'm driving, so we're good.
Well, there's an address. I'm sure I can put it in the GPS. But anyway, Adria Restaurant and Banquet Facility. Anyway, we're going to be there at 6 p.m., obviously Eastern time. So any of you guys who are on the East Coast and are like in any kind of relatively short distance of this location, you should totally come and hang out with us. It's on the 13th. We're going to be there. Should be lots of fun. I believe I'm going to go ahead and stop the screen share.
It is an official eBay meetup. There is a $10 charge that goes to the meetup organizers because they do pay to put these meetups together monthly. Not that we're being paid. We're just going to hang out and be our friends. Be clear. We happen to be close enough to make it to this, and they arranged it so that they would have their meetup the week that we were in town, which is really nice. Diane puts this together.
Yeah, so Diane and Trish will be there.
So it's $10. It's at a restaurant, and then there's obviously it's like a whole few hours. I think it's a few hours, like 6 to 9 or something like that. So there's dinner first, and then there's like we talk and presentations, and we'll answer questions and talk about a few things.
Lori, it's East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, and we're going to be there. We're bringing goodies. We got our Bossip Pens. We'll be passing those out, and we've got a bunch of Pink Panther ears for you.
I have to re-up on these. Opens coming soon, and I think I only have about 25 pairs left.
And maybe, just maybe, I don't know, we might have a couple prizes. I don't know. I might bring some goodies. I might dig in my goodie pile over here and bring some goodies to give out. But we'll have some good stuff for you guys. So definitely, please, like I said, there's a link down below to the Facebook group for that meetup group. But also, if you just want to be able to come to the meetup, I don't know. I think you need to RSVP.
You need to register, I think is but if you click on the link, it's a super easy process. You have to register to go.
Yeah, for sure. And then tomorrow,
yay, Mother Deals is going to be there. So happy. Yeah, we're going to freeze. I realize that we're already it's 80s to 90s here now, and of course every single time I go home, it doesn't matter what freaking month it is cold and rainy.
I have to wear pants.
So here we go again.
So Lori Rickson, does that mean you're coming? You said only 3 hours, and you're cheering and
Hartford, Connecticut. If you make it a day trip, it's really not too bad. Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah, it probably would be about a 3-hour drive for you. I get it. I don't know that I would do a 3-hour drive for somebody. I'd probably have to make it an overnight because it's like a long drive home at night. And Hartford, Connecticut driving is just brutal. I don't blame you.
But the other thing is tomorrow, Waste Not, Want Not, Mo says tomorrow is the eBay upfronts in Los Angeles, which
Sandra's going to.
Yep, Sandra's going to, and so is Theresa. So that's the thing, guys. If you're in the LA area, you should. I don't know if it's too late to sign up to go. I hope not. But if you're in the LA area, the upfronts are happening tomorrow.
Which is kind of like free.
It's kind of like a
Isn't
little.
It free?
It's either free or $25, or I think maybe it's free. I don't know. Mo,
Sorry.
tell us, is it,
Mo, was it free or not? I'm
is
not
she
sure.
a liar or not? Tell us. Anyway, but Theresa's going to be there too. So if you are going to be there, make sure that you go find Theresa and say hi. She loves meeting stranger friends.
You all know what Theresa looks like. She's going to be wearing some kind of eBay garb.
So you better find her. It's kind of like a little mini eBay open, so you should definitely go.
Okay, so Sanders says it's free. I
free.
totally get it because of other commitments. It is on a Monday night and it is a long drive. I totally get it. 3 hours, I get it. I'm not sure I would drive 3 hours each way to meet anybody. Never mind to come meet us, but God bless you if you do. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Theresa, so here's your answer for Theresa having a YouTube channel. She technically has a channel. I know she's maybe has some secret plans for something, but she doesn't really have anything going on right now. But maybe
Theresa is very much an eBay teacher and an eBay leader in the eBay community. She does stuff with us on this channel a lot, and obviously she runs the Boss Facebook group. That is her group. We just help admin and help.
As we say, she is the bossiest of all the bosses.
But
she's awesome.
But she's fantastic. She just doesn't like to do this chit-chatty stuff as much as we do. So this format and like hauls and things like that and bolos, that's not going to be her
Susie Beach, T-Money is doing a lot behind the scenes. Very, very true. And so if you ever have a chance,
with eBay behind the scenes quite a lot.
If you ever have a chance to meet her and get to know her, you should take it because she's super, super awesome and she's a great friend to have. And I will say she is hands down, finger up, as they say for ET.
As you say.
As they
say.
Hey,
I don't think anybody says that but
Sandra says it too. Sandra says it too. Hands down, fingers up. Theresa, I would say, is my number one cheerleader when it comes to the work that I do and with eBay and the YouTube and stuff like that. None of what we have right here would be possible without her and her support. So she's a good friend to have.
It was all about her. She was pushing Katie from the very beginning. And originally Katie had talked about this before. Originally, she had wanted to do a podcast. That was her idea because she's a big podcast fan herself. And it had nothing to do with me. She was talking about that right after she won the Shine Awards, before we were even together. And this kind of just evolved into me being part of this channel with her because we have more fun together. But
absolutely.
Originally, this was all Katie. This is her idea. The YouTube and certain topics were definitely all her. And then I brought in my flavor. And
indeed,
now it's us.
Anyway, so it's Wednesday. I mean, we're just hanging out. We're just
it's almost like No Pants Wednesday.
It's kind of like No Pants Wednesday, but if you guys have any questions,
a little more business related.
If you need any help with anything, or if you have any questions, can't figure something out, please ask us. This is a good time to do it because we're just hanging out here chatting with you guys. This is kind of like the calm before the storm. We got a bunch of work that we have to do this afternoon. I'm hoping right after the show. Well, right after the show, I think I have to go down and switch up your business policies for you, change your handling time. As you guys may or may not know, I am the IT department here at the house.
Otherwise, my computer would be in bits on the front, in front of the house on the street somewhere.
Yeah, and she gets frustrated with the whole. She's not so computer savvy. She can do her.
Well, I will fully admit, I don't know how I run an online business, to be quite honest with you. But here's the thing. If I can do it, anybody can. I need repetition and schedule. And when there are changes, I don't do well with change. I need to know exactly how things work. And I'm not the one that's going to be fixing PC issues. And just so you know, my hard drive was totally crap to bed. Had to buy a new hard drive. $300 for a new hard drive and to put it into my new computer, which
she makes me call them every day to find out what's going on.
I don't get it back. I get it back today.
This is how non-tech savvy she is. Changing her handling time on her eBay account is considered a tech problem. The tech issue that I need to fix.
I wash her underwear.
I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying that's
she does tech support.
Yes.
I do the laundry.
Yes. Allison, it is not dirty. It comes from my beloved friend, E.T. Hands down, finger up. Okay? It's hands down, finger up. Best saying ever. But yes.
So, I'm just not a computer person. It is what it is. That's what she handles because it's just not me.
So that'll be right after the show. I will be going and changing her handling time, and I'll probably take care of mine as well. And then I'm hoping I want to get like at least 10 listings up. So I'll probably focus on that because later on this afternoon, I got to do a lot of running around, run some errands and stuff, deal with the computer stuff, and all that jazz.
Yep. So let's see. Kara said, just started printing labels for myself and Mike through eBay for first class and being billed 2 times, one by PayPal and again on my credit card. Mike just had a meltdown. Call PayPal, Kara. That's been happening to a few people. You call PayPal, you may need to verify something on your PayPal account. That's been changing on personal PayPal accounts recently. If you call them, they'll walk you through it on the phone and it will stop immediately. That's been happening to a lot of people with bank accounts and credit cards. Whatever your backup payment method is, that's attached to PayPal. Some people it's a bank account, some people it's a credit card. So just make sure you call them and they will credit back and they will fix it and it won't happen anymore. It's been happening to a lot of people. It has something to do with verifying personal accounts versus people that have business accounts. I haven't heard it happening to anyone with a business account, and a lot of people that are smaller sellers just still use it as a personal account, and it doesn't really make a big difference other than you've done a couple of extra steps of verification when you have a business account. And I did it a long time ago. So
yeah, for sure.
Doaker asked, any comments on your views on bundling 2 or 3 items?
I mean, with what we sell, it doesn't really work. I mean, it doesn't really make sense. But I totally get that depending on what you sell, that can work and it can be a good idea to try. And I know some people do, especially, I mean, I don't know if that's just an eBay question, but a lot of people do that for Amazon. They'll bundle items and make them their own listing when they do like FBA and stuff like that. And it is a way to make it kind of a unique listing.
I think if you get inexpensive items that are identical, like maybe if you've got, a couple of, 2 or 3 t-shirts or button-down shirts that are all very similar, but maybe they're not worth listing alone, $10 or $15 shirts that you maybe picked up very inexpensively, or t-shirts, all the same size, similar items. Putting 2 or 3 together and selling them as a bundle for like $30 is way better. You've got a better chance of selling them.
Well, I will say, I don't think either one of us have any experience or even know how it works as far as eBay bundling, like technically bundling. Because there's have you bundled before?
I do.
I'm not talking about lotting.
Oh.
I'm talking about bundling. Have you ever, when you're making a listing, there's a little check thing where it'll ask you, do you want this in a bundle? I don't even know what that does.
I don't know what that is either. So I know that you have to check it off when you're doing when you're doing electronics, and that means if you're including all the different things that come with electronics, you have to check it off as it being a bundle. Like say you're selling stereo equipment and it's got the speakers and the cords and the remote control or whatever. If it's got all of those things, you check it off that yes, that's a bundle listing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's what he's talking about.
Right. And I'm just saying, as far as that goes, I don't know how any of that works.
And yes, Red Neckerson, go ahead and get naked now.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Yeah, see, Jackie, it's like, Katie and I, we both run our businesses just fine. But she does things, she says her daughter does things she hates to do, and she does things that the daughter hates to do. So it equals out. With us, it's like, as far as all the housework and then being neat and clean, and Katie is not a neat person. I think you may have heard me mention this before. She's not dirty. There's a big difference between messy and dirty. She's not dirty. She is very cluttery and very messy. And I am a bit of a neat freak, and everything has its place and everything should be in its place, and I get frustrated when it's not. So I handle most of the housework and the doing the laundry and putting all that stuff away. I'm the housewifey. And she does all the crap that I don't want to deal with, the stuff with the car stuff, getting the car washed, putting the gas in the car. When there's IT problems, she cleans up the yard. That's her role.
Marlinda is watching from Japan. What? I was just saying, I think it was yesterday that I would love to go to Japan. That's one of those places. A lot of my international travel has been in Asia. But I've never been to Japan. That's one of the countries I really want to go to.
Put it on the bucket list.
I've been to South Korea. I've been to Hong Kong. I've been to Cambodia and Nepal, but I've never been to Japan, and I really want to visit. So mostly I want to eat all the food there.
Lady Luck Junk. I'm pretty sure vintage massage tool and body lotion are not a valid bundle. But
you can make it a bundle. Whatever. Why are you such a naysayer all the time? So rude. So rude. anyway, yeah, Susie, I think she was talking to in response to Kara's problem, talking about shipping through everything through Pirate. I mean,
you could do that too. My only concern with, and it may not be that big of a deal if you only have a handful of items. I do really like eBay's bulk shipping tool. So for me, if it's something that is, you know, just as inexpensive through eBay, I prefer to ship multi-labels through eBay. It's just easier. But if you're only shipping 4 or 5 items, that extra couple steps is not a big deal. But when you're shipping 15, 20 items, and which I'm not doing that every day, but some days it's like, thank God you have that multi-shipping tool.
Pam, I've been having some issues with items getting relisted after they're sold since the good till canceled. Anyone else experiencing this? I've had to cancel about 6 orders due to this. You know, yes. I've been hearing that. I've never had it happen with mine, and I've been doing good till canceled for years.
I have had it. I actually did have it happen this week for the first time. And the only reason I know is because I sold the item. I sold the item last week, and then I got an offer on it again this week. So of course I just declined the offer and ended the item because I knew I didn't have another one, and I went, what the hell, how'd that get relisted? So I've been hearing about this and reading it on the boards. That's the first time it happened to me. I know that it's happening. Definitely call eBay and put in a complaint about it.
I would contact eBay for business, because 6 orders canceled, because if you cancel an order because you don't have it, that's a defect.
And if that happens,
make sure you want to make trouble.
You want to make sure you don't get in trouble, because if you don't have a huge amount of sales happening and you're canceling 6, they may freeze your account. So you need to be proactive about that and call them and alert them that this is happening, and that it's happening to you, and you know that it's happened to a lot of other sellers, and you've been told to call or contact eBay for business through their Facebook page. So definitely, I don't know what the issue is. I do know that this is the time of the year. Hey, welcome to eBay. Welcome to Glitch Bay in spring. This is it. Whenever they roll out new changes, whenever there are changes on the platform, there are inevitably glitches. It happens every single year from April till June, at least.
Yeah. Did you know Allison's a master bundler? It's funny because I can tell that right now is when last year when sales tanked because they were having all these glitches. It's kind of like when it started last year, because all of a sudden my sales have not dramatically increased at all right now. They're just kind of as they are. And yet all of a sudden I'm way up over last year, because last year my sales dropped dramatically right around this time.
Yeah, my sales are still doing well, thank God, knock on something, even though we're starting to have these glitches. I've only seen a couple of them personally, but I'm hearing about them. I do know that I've been having more difficulty listing here and there. You know, these phantom drafts that are showing up, the spinning out of when you're loading pictures and having to go back in and finish it as a draft. That's been happening more and more as I'm trying to list. It was driving me crazy yesterday. I couldn't list anything. It was taking me twice as long to list everything. So it happens. So, you know.
Thrifty Santa is in the house.
Barry, haven't seen you in forever.
Oh, Thrifty Santa, what is happening?
Hopefully we will see you at Open in July.
Yeah, better.
I hope you're coming, Barry.
With your Santa outfit.
At least your Santa hat, so everybody knows it's you.
Yep. Any other questions, guys? I'm going to give a little pro tip. This came up today because somebody had a question in the boss group. And this is something I hadn't really thought about until recently. I realized, I should be doing it this way. But so I do all of my, anything that's under £1, I send first class for domestic shipping. Anything under £1, I send first class, and I do free shipping and whatnot. But I do send a lot of things that are higher value, especially like t-shirts. Like when I've sold a few t-shirts that are over $100, couple $100 for a t-shirt. And sometimes it's a little bit, you're a little bit nervous about sending a really high valued item just first class. Doesn't have any kind of insurance on it or anything like that. And so in the past, I didn't do it all the time, but every once in a while, if I had something that was really worth a lot of money, I might send it in a padded flat rate mailer, just because you automatically have that $100 of insurance. But the difference between first class and the padded flat rate mailer can be quite a bit, because, depending on where you're sending it, let's say it's something that is only 8 ounces, which a lot of t-shirts are anywhere from 8, 9, 10 ounces. It might only cost like about $4 to ship it first class, but if you send it through padded flat rate, it's like $7.33. So you're spending an extra $3-4 just to send it and get that $100 insurance. But listen up, guys. Let's say you sell a t-shirt and it's $150. and it's 8 ounces. What you should actually do is send it through pirate ship, because pirate ship, their first class cost, domestic cost, is the same as eBay, right? And so if you send it through pirate ship, it's super easy to add insurance on, and it's cheaper than the insurance that you can get through eBay. And so let's say it's an 8 ounce package. Let's say it's going to cost you like $4 to ship it. If you add the insurance, I looked at it today, $150 insurance is like $1.60. So it's going to cost you, it's going to end up being like $5.60 as opposed to $7.33 that you would do if you were sending a padded flat rate. Bam, cost less, insured for more.
Yep.
And you're good to go. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that?
Good pro tip.
He's so rude.
Like she's reinvented the wheel.
I'm not. Hey, it's just it's one of those little things that you don't think about, and then you're like, oh yeah, I should totally do that because it's actually a lot cheaper and I'm more protected.
Because I generally bump up to priority when something is an expensive item, even though it might be light. So you're right.
I just did it like a week ago. When
it doesn't make a difference as long as it's insured.
I sold that Burberry hat, and when I listed it, I actually listed as free priority because I knew, oh, I'm just going to send this in a padded flat rate. And I'm like, you know what? I really should have just sent that first class and insured it. Like it would have been so much cheaper. So I just think it's one of those dumb things that you just doesn't occur to you until it does. And then you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, guys. Yeah, Rose's Closet shipped a mug, priority mail. It broke, and USPS refunded me because it was insured. Yeah, and so that's the thing. Like, same thing with pirate ship. I've used their insurance of Shipsurance. I've had to file a claim, and it was fine. They took care of it.
I'm gonna have to file my first international insurance claim in a long while. Soon. I'm waiting for the buyer to send me photos because it's over $100, and she will. She's very cooperative, but it's in Canada, so I'm hoping that counts. It should be a little bit easier. And it was priority, so I didn't put it through. It was priority international. It didn't go through pirate ship. It went through eBay, but it's insured. Of course, I sent a big framed item. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, you saw it was the one where I actually wrapped the frame to my kitchen counter because I'm a spaz.
Ridiculous.
And I was wrapping it by myself. But anyway, smashed. She even said to me, she's like, I opened this and saw how well you packaged this, and I thought I've never received anything so packaged so well. Nice. Between the cardboard and the styrofoam and the bubble wrap and the pool noodles and it was just a glass framed print to hang on the wall. It wasn't very expensive. The print was like $50. The shipping was like $65. That's because it went to Canada and it was heavy. Smashed to bits. So yeah, I'm a little ticked off. It was an Etsy purchase, not an eBay purchase, but my buyer's super sweet, little old lady. I claim all the time. Yeah, Santa, sometimes here's what you do. When you file a USPS claim, they don't cover the cost of the shipping unless you put it in as your total cost for reimbursement. It's all about how you file the claim. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, Connecticut girl, we'll be visiting Connecticut when we hit the East Coast next year. Probably not intentionally. I don't have any friends or family in Connecticut, so it'll probably just be the Rhode Island area. Next year when we come out, we'll be coming out for, again, to visit friends and family, but my yearly convention that I go volunteer at, that Katie volunteers with me at, it's called the World Burn Conference. It's actually held in Rhode Island next year. So we're combining the 2 trips instead of making 2 separate trips.
So we won't be back again for like a year and a half.
Yeah, so it'll be next October. We'll probably go for 10 days so that we have time for visiting and the conference, because the conference is a working conference. Yeah.
So. But we'll probably like arrange for some sort of meetup, because we like to have, whenever we go somewhere, we like to have one kind of visit.
Yeah, actually, my brother does live in Danielson, but it's just he's just over the line, and he comes to me because he's so far. He comes to me with my sister-in-law and the kids. That wherever we are, they come to us to hang out. So I don't generally drive up to him. Sometimes I do. But yeah, we'll next year. I mean, we're talking a year and a half from now, but we will definitely have some kind of meetup, whether it's in Rhode Island or Massachusetts. Again, maybe we'll crash them Massachusetts meetup. There isn't one in Rhode Island that I'm aware of, or we would crash theirs. But yeah,
pretty much.
Barb, thanks. My hair color looks amazing. Yeah, this is where it starts to do the fade out. I didn't feel like doing the hairs before I went to Rhode Island, so I'll do the ombre fade out until we get back.
Cash Cow Clothing, love the show. Is there a better time to list during the day or night? I don't think, overall, I don't think that it makes much of a difference. I think it really depends. I will say, I mean, for one thing, for the most part, you shouldn't be doing auctions. I mean, we don't recommend auctions. But I will say, who was Dorothy had listed like this Tiger Woods golf club golf bag set. It's like a brand new whatever. She listed, she did it as an auction because of all the stuff that, he won the whatever it was. I don't know. I don't do sportsing, guys. But whatever. He won something big. What was it, like the whatever it was? And it was a big deal just recently. And so she put it up in auction, which is totally fine. But I got like she works late sometimes, and so the auction actually ended up ending at like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I will say that's probably not the best. For the most part, people are going to be looking at their phones. They have it everywhere with them at all times. But
the
you
Masters.
at least,
there you go. You won the Masters.
yes, but you at least, if you're going to,
I was going to say the Open, then I realized I think that's tennis.
But yeah, but if you
So
are
bad.
doing an auction for some reason, probably you want it to end at least when most people are awake. But it shouldn't really matter like otherwise day or night.
As far as like just regular 30-day, good till canceled listings, it doesn't matter day or night, doesn't matter what day of the week.
I don't think so.
Doesn't really matter because it's sitting there, and there are people looking at your stuff,
really,
presumably or hopefully from all over the world. So
what is most important, guys, is that you list it. Is that you get it listed. So who cares? If for you, you're just better at listing at night and it just works better for your schedule, or that's just when you're on, or if it's early in the morning, or if it's the middle of the day, whatever. If you're getting it listed, you're better off than not getting listed. So I would say what's really ultimately the best thing to do is to not worry about those kinds of things and just get your work done. So
Connecticut Girl says, if you get a petition going to get them to Connecticut, hey, listen, we're kind of open to going anywhere in the country. Here's the thing. If it doesn't cost us anything to get there, we'd be willing to go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the reality. We'd be willing to go anywhere and turn it into a thrifting trip. The problem is
everything costs money. We have to,
there's flights, there's places to stay, there's there's
house sitting and dog sitting. That stuff.
So, and we're not at the level, God love them, as like Rowley Roots or anybody that has an enormous following where we could I guess feasibly charge people to come and do a talk or a meetup or something like that. And not to say that they do, I don't think they do either, but we're not there. So we're not going to charge people to come and go to a meetup because that doesn't make any sense. So nobody's going to pay for us to fly across the country and come talk for a couple of hours. Sorry, I love you guys. We would do it anytime, but it's just not in the budget.
Well, we have a lot of stuff that we travel for each year. It's crazy. We do.
We travel, we travel to visit her family at least once a year, my family once a year, burn camp once a year, conference once a year. So that's 4 trips a year already before you even talk about sourcing trips or any type of vacation.
Yeah. Weekend stuff is easier. We are actually talking about, we need to like figure it out sooner than later so that we can get Theresa's Airbnb booked up.
Yeah, when we come back,
we're talking about doing a June weekend visit to Phoenix again. And for that's a lot easier for us because we can drive, we can thrift the whole time that we're there. So it's a working trip. We can take the dogs with us because we go and we stay at Theresa's Airbnb, and so all of that stuff makes it a lot easier.
Right. There's no airfare. There's no paying for a dog sitter or house sitter. There's no there's no.
So we'll be in the Phoenix.
Gas. It's pretty much gas money, and that's it. So that's a lot easier.
So we'll be in the Phoenix area probably sometime in June. Can't make any promises, but we will let you guys know because I'm sure that Theresa will want to plan another little meetup like we did last time
in the Phoenix area. That was a lot of fun, and that was the last minute one that she threw together too. So that was great. Oh, and here's the thing, Connecticut Girl, you lying. She's like, but we have great tacos here. You're lying. I'm from New England, girl. There are no great tacos in New England.
You don't know that.
There's some, well, there may be a few, but there's some good Puerto Rican restaurants.
Yeah.
On the East Coast. But as far as like Mexican,
there might be a little taco shop. Wasn't there like something going around? It was like the best tacos in each state. Allison says that she doesn't want any excuses. She wants results, and that all 3 resellers in Alaska want us to arrange for a meetup. So come on. You know what though? I actually really would love to go to Alaska because I want to do some thrifting. I want to get in on your territory there and get some of that cool stuff.
Imagine how expensive it would be to ship it all home though. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we would find a lot. I'm
no,
sure.
That's when we would go Southwest for sure, and we would pay whatever we need to pay to go south.
And we'd wear layers of clothing.
Well, because
so
you get Southwest, you get 2 bags each, so that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, you have good tacos in Texas. I'm with you there. So, you know, Tex-Mex, it's real good. Southwest, West Coast, Texas. Yeah. East Coast. Sorry, Connecticut girl. I love you. There's a lot of good food in New England. Don't get me wrong. I miss New England food and we're going to indulge in some of it, but Mexican is not not one of the options.
I'm going to be eating lobster rolls and hot wieners, guys.
We're going to have some good seafood.
I'm going to have my hot wieners and my lobster rolls.
Some good Italian food, because both of which are terrible here in Nevada. But anyway. Yeah.
What else? What time? What have we got for time?
Mother deals. New England tacos suck. It's true. I mean, there's some marginal, you know, Mexican restaurants.
I'm sure there's probably some like little hole in the wall place that actually does good street tacos. Maybe that's going to be, I'm going to talk to Trish and be like, Trish, on Monday before we do the meetup, we need to go and we need to find us some good tacos. Right? Yeah.
Big Trish says you better do your research, see what airlines fly into Anchorage. Yeah, Southwest isn't one of them.
Whatevs.
Alaska Airlines is not a good airline. Sorry.
Yeah, see, I was just thinking that, Sandra. Lobster rolls are the tacos of New England.
They are. There you go. There you go.
I'm going to eat a bunch of those then.
All right. Do we have any
other questions, guys?
Questions? Because here we go. Back to food again. Somehow
we like food.
Wednesday's lunchtime. Everybody's hungry. Goes back to food.
Come on.
It's a really short trip, Sandy. So we leave very early tomorrow morning and we're back Tuesday night.
Yeah, we're back late Tuesday night. Somehow our
flight changed, and now we have, instead of one layover, because there's no direct Southwest flight between Vegas and Rhode Island. There used to be. They got rid of it like 5 years ago, and it sucks. But now, instead of our one layover in Chicago, which is always the flight that I take, there is now 2 layovers. Now we've got to go to Chicago and then Salt Lake City, which is ridiculous. So now our 6.5 hour trip home is now a 9.5 hour trip home. It's pretty much flying the whole time.
And you're gonna be bitching the whole way, are you?
I am. Oh, mofongo's good. Connecticut girl. Oh, she's my Puerto Rican girl. She says I can cook for you. Hey, all right, that's it. You sold me. Let's go. I used to work with all Puerto Rican girls, and I was the token white chick. So I'm loving the food. They used to make me the best food all the time.
I just want to eat some lobster. I want some lobster. Let's go.
I love me some plantain, some rice and beans, some mofongo. I've been to Puerto Rico. It's beautiful, and I love it. One of my favorite vacations.
Yeah. Yes, we're doing we're doing our Sunday live haul. It probably won't be a haul because any thrifting, most likely we're not going to get to do any thrifting until maybe Monday when we're with Trish and Diane. But we'll be doing a live show on Sunday. Yes,
we will do.
We'll have to let you know what time.
We'll do our numbers. We'll do our solds. We'll let you know what time it's going to be. Quickly, we will put it in the Boss Facebook group. We will schedule it live. So if you want to check the YouTube channel, we'll schedule it probably by Friday. We can schedule the time. We'll know what time we're going to do it on Sunday. So that way you know in advance. You know how you can schedule it, and it'll give you the time frame. We'll do that for you guys so you can see when it's going to be if you're not in the group.
So Emily says that she got a ding for late shipping. She always ships the same day. She says the post office not scanning. How can she avoid this?
You really know what? Can't.
You kind of can't. But honestly, I mean, if you look at your percentage, I mean, I know that I think you're just starting out with reselling.
It happens, hon. It happens to me. I have never, ever shipped an item late. And mine is not at 100%, and it never is.
If you are always shipping within your window when you say you're going to ship, let's say you have 1 day handling or whatever it is, if you are always doing that, you should be fine. It's gonna, every once in a while you're gonna get something saying it's late, and you know what, if you look at your metrics, it shows you kind of the range you need to stay within to be okay. And you should be fine. It should never be like such an issue that you're gonna have.
It drops. I think you have to drop below 95% for it to be an issue. And you know, I always have like 3 or 4 within the 3-month period. I think it's a rolling 3-month, or it may be a year depending on how many packages you ship. And I'm always at like 99 and change. Right now I think I'm at 99.0. It's like 3 or 4 that are showing late, and it's always late scans on late delivery. It has nothing to do with when I ship, because I ship on time, and that's the best you can do. That's all you can do.
Emily, what's your percentage though? You say you have had 2 lates. What's the percentage when you look at that? Because it should tell you.
And they don't raise your fees based on that, honey. That's on that lates is not what goes into that.
No. Anyway, so Lady Luck Junk wants us to talk about how we track and get those numbers. Are you talking about, which numbers are you talking about?
Our Sunday numbers. It's very easy. It's just, if you go back and watch one of our shows, you'll see exactly what it is. It prints. We show it in big numbers. Just pause it and you can see what it is. It's not our monthly numbers. It's not our yearly numbers. It's not your actual numbers that you use for accounting. It's just weekly to show you our sales numbers.
Yeah, but we just go. But if you're wanting to know where we find those numbers on eBay, you can go and look at your orders for the last week. You can do any date range you want. And then we have to go in and we do have to go in and calculate ourselves, like how much we spent on shipping for that week, what our cost of goods were for everything that we sold, what our promoted listings fees were. And so you can get all that information from whatever platform you're on. So,
yeah, we just figure it out for you so we can show you, because here's the thing. Anybody can tell you, oh, we sold, $500,000 on eBay last year. Mm-hmm. Our profit was 10,000. So it's not that we're bragging, because we're not. Our numbers are not that big, but we want you to show what hard work and and full-time sales can look like.
We also, we put ourselves out in front of you guys as self-proclaimed, I guess, leaders in the community. And we're here telling you, like, oh, ask us questions and we're going to help you out. But we feel responsible for, I guess, as they say, showing I call it showing receipts. And I always use the hashtag when I show stuff on Instagram. I use the hashtag of leaders lead with receipts. And what I'm basically saying is, if I need to show what I'm talking about, I need to show, like, okay, I need you guys to have some sort of evidence that I actually know what I'm talking about, because I'm able to successfully sell on eBay and now Etsy as well. Because otherwise, like, a lot of people just kind of start a channel and they start telling people stuff, and it's like, you want to do your homework and know that the people you're listening to might actually know what they're talking about.
Right. And, we have, like I've said before, we have our small following, and we're grateful for all of you guys that watch us on YouTube or are involved in our boss group. We like that we're able to keep, a connection with the community. Sure. Would I love to have 100,000 YouTube followers? Yeah. Wouldn't anybody? I think that's,
we'll get there. We'll get there someday.
But I prefer that we give you quality information. And I think that that's more important for us. And more power to anybody that does anything any other way. I'm not denigrating anybody else's method. That's just the way we do it is important to us.
I know for me, it's like, what I really want to do is to be able to help sellers be better sellers. Because I think the better that we all are, the better any one of us is, the better for the rest of us.
The better we really are,
because we really are like coworkers. And when it comes to any particular platform on eBay, if we can elevate all the sellers on eBay, it's good for all of us, because it all kind of ties together into the buyer experience, and that does matter. And plus we love people, and it's like, I want people like, Deb Smith, who just lost her job and is now going to be doing this full time, or somebody else who is just starting out and they need to find a way to bring in some income, or somebody else who maybe is, disabled or for whatever reason can't go out into the workforce and needs to find a way to support themselves. I want to play whatever part I can to help you be successful, because I think that's awesome when somebody can be more self-sufficient and
yeah, we want you to be successful, and whatever you deem success to be in your eyes. Everybody's different. Everybody's bar is different. Mm-hmm. Successful for you might be making a couple extra $100 a month. Well, some people are on Social Security and permanent disability, and they can only make a little bit of money, and they just need to be able to supplement their income a little bit. Mm-hmm. They're not looking to go big and scale up or anything like that. Lady Luck Junk, $3.33 super chat. She said cost of goods is where I'm confused. That's just, honestly, that is when we say our cost of goods, there's any number of ways that people could track that. If you wanted to actually track everything that you buy and what you pay for it, then go for it. You can put it in a notebook. You can use an Excel spreadsheet. We don't do that.
When we share that number on our Sunday numbers, it's basically an estimate from memory, because we just know what we paid for things. So I know when it's something that I paid $30 for as opposed to something I paid $2 for. And so that's like a general estimate.
Exactly.
Because I always know if it's something I got from Savers, or it's something I got from Buffalo Exchange, or if it's something I bought new. I always know what I priced it at. So that is it's an estimate. It's a guesstimate.
Yeah. So cost of goods. So like, I know that if and I also have a ridiculously good memory, as Katie does, for this type of thing for my items. I couldn't tell you what she bought her stuff for, but I can say, okay, I know that I bought this dress for $5.99, and then I know that I always go 25% off day. So I'm averaging that at my $5 cost of goods. And then I'll average something else that I know is $3 or $4 at a $3 or $4 cost of goods. I always estimate a little high for benefit of the doubt. You know, I'm not saying I paid $3 for something when I really paid 15. You know, if I paid between $3 and $5 and I know it's between 3 and 5, I'm going to put a 5 on it.
Yeah. And that's why when you look at our cost of goods each week, mine generally are a bit higher, because I'm more likely to have spent $30,
she pays up for stuff more than I do.
$50 on something, whereas she's generally paying like $5 under for everything that she buys.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So there was a question up there just a bit that I just missed that said something about.
So Emily says she's at 7.37%. They're actually saying 7 out of 95 sales over a year. You know what? I would actually, if I were you,
definitely call.
I would call because that is high.
And sometimes they can eliminate a couple of them for you by seeing that you did your job on time and that you shipped your item on time, and you want that.
I would call, because there's a good chance you'll be able to get a few of those taken off, and that'll get you down below 5%, because that is pretty high. And part of that's just because you are just starting out, and so you don't have a lot of sales.
Right. And as long as it shows that you've uploaded and it's been scanned on time on your end, that's the only thing that you have control over. You don't have control over when it was delivered, how long the post office took to deliver something, whether they scanned it when it was delivered or scanned it along the way. That part you don't have control over, but you do have control over when you print your labels and when those labels are scanned. So if your carrier is not scanning when they pick it up, or you need to either have them scan it if you drop it off at the counter, stand in line and have them scan it if they're not doing it. That's the only way to get it done. Or print a scan sheet and make sure that your carrier picks it up. If you do daily pickup at your house, make sure the carrier scans the scan sheet if they're not scanning them individually. I know that everybody's post office person is different. We're very fortunate. Our lady picks up at our door, and she will scan all 57 packages one at a time at our door.
She doesn't even want scan sheets.
She puts them. She scans them individually before she puts them on the truck, and we're grateful that she does that. And every time we have one of the subs come, we're always like, are they going to scan? Because I don't hear the scanner. I don't hear the scanner at the front door.
Which honestly, at this point, I don't really care anymore.
No, as long as they pick up.
As long as they pick up, I'm like, hopefully they scan it. But
like, we have a standing pickup order. We don't have to schedule an order every day. You know, nothing. So I know that we're really fortunate, and we do give her gifts and thank her, and are very help her carry stuff out to the car when there's a lot, and you know. But I know not everybody has that availability where they live. So definitely, if you can control things on your end, do what you can. But if you've done everything you can on your end, then call eBay and see what they'll do to help you.
For sure. So Darling wants to know if we sell the same items on eBay and Etsy, or different items.
So we cross post. We both do the same thing. I will cross post all of my vintage items that I have on eBay will be cross posted in for sale on Etsy as well.
Yeah, same here. I sell a lot of vintage stuff. So basically everything I buy to resell goes in my eBay store. And if it's vintage, it gets cross-posted to Etsy. So basically everything that's in my Etsy store is also on my eBay store, but not everything that's in my eBay store is in my Etsy stores, because it's not vintage. So so I have I'm at about 2,200 items in my eBay store, and I just went over 1,100 in my Etsy store. Not everything is cross-posted. I still have some stuff that I need to go back and make sure I get cross-posted, but moving forward, everything I list simultaneously.
Most of my stuff is, I would say about 90% of my items that can be listed on Etsy are, and that was the last several months. Dana spent many hours getting everything cross-posted, so that now it's just cross-posting the newer items. Let's see, Menendez family. Now that eBay requires by the month, good till canceled fixed listings, are they going to begin charging us insertion fees every month, or am I overthinking this? I think you're overthinking this. If you already have a store, it's just going to come off of your number of listings that you have available in your store every month. If you go over your store allotment, then yes, it would be a monthly charge, whatever your charge is, depending on your store level, 15 cents, 10 cents. I think as much as 25 or 35 cents. So yes, you'll be charged every 30 days if you don't have a store.
Yeah. Bottom line is, if you want to make money selling on eBay, then you just need to list stuff. You need to get everything listed and quit worrying about the fees. and get whatever store level you need to make it the most cost efficient for you. If you only list normally 250 items a month, then you want a basic store. If you want to push that up, I think I think the tipping point is about 450 listings and above. You're better off having a premium store at that point. And honestly, like, you know, I would say my bottom line is don't worry so much about the fees, because it's a good problem to have if you're having to pay for extra listings, because that means you're listing more, and it's going to be better off for you.
Dawn asks, I have same day handling. Do I have to ship international same day as well? You know, technically you probably should, but because international takes so much longer and it gives you such a wider time frame to get things delivered, I wouldn't worry about it. If you need the extra time, then don't worry about it. Yes. Ship it the next day.
Technically, you're supposed to, but those numbers, when they look at your percentage of shipment
domestic
time,
only.
It's only domestic. They don't count international.
Sharon, I'm not sure what you mean by sell bright. Darlene asked, how do you cross post? So basically right now with Etsy, there is no cross posting tool. There are a few in development, and I'm hoping that they actually come through, because if and when it happens, I will be paying pretty much whatever the subscription fee is for that monthly, because it'll be well worth it. But there's nothing that does it automatically for you. So basically you're going to have your eBay, you're just going to copy and paste. You're going to copy and paste your title, your descriptions, put your keywords in, your pricing in, and you copy over your photos. You know, right click and save your photos if it's a listing that's already been done, and re-upload them on Etsy. Or if you have your photos available, you can, like Katie does, she will have two screens open at the same time, and she'll do her eBay listing and load all her photos and information. And then she'll do her Etsy listing and she'll load all the photos and copy and paste all the information.
And I hit list pretty much at the same time on both of them.
Susie Beach, it's 20 cents for 4 months on Etsy. So there's no option for having a store. You should open a store anyway, because you create a storefront and a personality and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't cost you anything for that. You're paying 20 cents for it to be listed for 4 months.
And then it automatically renews performance. But I think you can go in and check something off.
You don't have to automatically
to make it so it doesn't automatically renew.
You can if you want. But
Connecticut Girl wants to know if we ever have days of no sales at all. She's at 775 listings and wondering at what quantity she'll have daily sales. So, you know, it's all relative, because it really depends on what kind of stuff you sell. Now, for me, selling clothing and a lot of used clothing and stuff like that, which I've been doing from pretty much the beginning, if I remember right, I believe it was when I hit between 800 to 1,000 listings. I think it was once I hit 1,000 listings, it was like, I don't even, you know, I pretty much never had a no sales day. Now, of course, that depends on what it is you're selling, the quality of the stuff you're selling, if people want to buy the stuff that you're selling. And there's other categories that maybe have higher turnover and faster, more likely to keep sale. Because some people can have 80 listings at all times and they never have a 0 sales day. But for the stuff I'm selling, which is probably similar to what you're selling, one-offs, stuff you're thrifting, I hit about 1,000, and that's when I stopped having no sales days. Now, occasionally, when for whatever reason, I've had days where I've literally had one $25 sale. That very, very rarely happens.
Same.
Almost never happens.
Exactly the same. Maybe once every few months, I'll have one sale day where it's like I have one day for like $30 or $40. I'm like, what the hell happened?
But I do not know. I cannot tell you right now when the last time is that I had a 0 sales day. Of course, I have way more listings now. But like I said, once I hit about 1,000 listings, it was like you generally at least have one sale in a day. It doesn't happen very often. But again, it's all relative, because it just depends on what you sell.
Cash Cow Clothing asked us earlier as well. We created a show on how to sell on Etsy. We haven't done one specifically on how to list or how to sell on Etsy. Maybe we should.
I guess the
reason why is because we don't feel like we're pros at Etsy yet, is really the reason why. We really just started cross posting and selling more items on Etsy last fall. So while not to say that we're pros on eBay, I think we pretty much got a handle on eBay. Where we're still both just learning Etsy. Even though I understand Etsy, the sales are such a smaller percentage of what we do on eBay that
I just don't feel like I have the answers for what makes for the best listing or the best whatever. Like I feel like I'm still figuring that out.
I don't quite understand how their algorithms and their keywords and search words work quite as well yet. So, you know, to be fair, my listings that are on Etsy now are pretty much the bare minimum because I haven't gone in and put in all the taglines and tag words that I should, because most of it's copied and pasted. A lot of the newer ones that Dana has done for me, I know that she's gone in and added some things, but I know that probably, and I have like, I don't know, 975 listings on Etsy now.
Yeah.
I would say that several hundred of them haven't used that feature at all.
Yeah.
So
Rags, Sandy says, I don't see the 250 free listings as a ceiling, rather they are the floor. My first 250 are free with her store. And I think that's exactly the attitude you want to have, really. Like somebody posted in our group like a week or two ago how excited they were that they were just listing their first listing that they were paying for. But it was like a good thing. I'm sorry, I can't remember who it was, but it was a good thing because it means that they've exceeded the number, you know, their number of listings that they have for free with their store, and they see it as a good thing, and I do too. And so that's where we're like, quit overthinking stuff and thinking of it as like, oh, I don't want to go over because I don't want to start getting charged for listings. And it's like,
Arthur asks, would you have a meltdown if all 1,000 listings sold the same day?
Yes.
I would probably, absolutely.
Yes.
So I have 2,500 listings, and Katie has over 2,000 listings as well. I have 1,000 on Etsy, and she has 1,000 on Etsy. So I have about $150,000 worth of inventory listed in my eBay store. If all of it sold at once, I'd have a cow.
Oh, it'd be crazy.
I'd take a month off to ship it all and start all over again.
Darlene says, so having a second monitor is good. Yes, I highly recommend this. And the thing is, monitors are so cheap. Really, you can get, first of all, you can probably
get one Facebook Marketplace or at a garage
for $20, you know. Yeah. But even brand new, you can get a decent one for $80 or something like that. They're super cheap. And I'm telling you, they make work a lot easier because even if you're not cross posting, so for me, it's like I've got my one monitor here, my other one here, and I'm doing eBay and an Etsy. But even if I wasn't cross posting, being able to have my listing template open on this side, and on this side I could be doing research, I could be looking something up or whatever. It helps so much to have two things open simultaneously, so I'm not just having to flip between tabs. You know, I have like a little Chromebook that I use, and I'll be taking it with me for our trip to be able to do some work there. But man, it sucks having to just be stuck only using the tabs on you know, the screen.
Trisha asks, seems like you manage 1,000 listings well. We both manage double that at least. No virtual assistants. You have 300 on Poshmark. You have a mommy of 3. We don't have any little kids. That's a lot harder. And Poshmark is a much needier application with all the sharing and we don't do Poshmark. So
she has Dana, who
I do have an assistant.
She's
a physical assistant. She does 4 hours of photos for me a week, and 2 to 3 hours a week, pretty much every other week, 2 to 3 hours every other week, just cross posting on Etsy for me. So kind of doing the bare minimum right now, but I do need to bring her back in, and I haven't quite sourced enough to be able to do this, but I do need to bring her back in and have her work at least 2 days a week for me and get her doing some listing.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't have anybody. I just do it all myself. So, but it's a lot of work. And I don't have anything else to focus on. Like we don't have any kids or anything, so it makes it a lot easier.
And I think part of it that's a little bit easier for Katie too is that, you know, she sources, again, all men's clothing, all clothing, you know, mostly jackets and t-shirts. So jackets and t-shirts, it's one mannequin form, and sweatshirts. It's one mannequin form. The photos are very simplistic. She can do a lot of self-similars when she's listing because it's only like 2 or 3 different types of templates that she's using.
It makes things go a lot faster. And the thing is, like, when you have any kind of uniformity of like what you're doing, that's when, and this is the way my brain works anyway, when I'm doing a repetitive task, I automatically start to look for ways that I can shorten up the process or find a better way to do it. And so over the last few years, it's like I've gotten to where I'm, you know, even in the last couple of months, I've made changes that have increased my like productivity quite a bit. And a lot of it does have to do with the fact that I focus on similar items, unlike you, where you do a lot of different things.
It takes me a lot longer because while I may list almost the same amount of items as Katie every week, sometimes even more than she does, I'm sourcing such a variety of items with hard goods, and even with the clothing. I do men's clothing, I do women's clothing, I do dresses, I do shorts, shoes, whatever. I do all kinds of crap. So the photographing is, even though I try to photograph in batches of like items, or Dana does a lot of, I do 1 day of photography, Dana does 1 day, pretty much. It's 2 days of photography it takes me. It takes a lot longer because with hard goods, every photograph setup is a little bit different. You've got to, you know, if it's a game or something, you've got to make sure all the pieces are there, and you've got to set everything up, and you've got to clean things, and you've got to take labels off, and so it's a bit more of a process than clothing. So
for our Canadian friends up there,
it's a process.
It's a process. So Darling wants to know how long does it generally take to put a listing on Etsy. So I'm going to answer that question because you don't actually really do it. When I do it, the way that I do it is, so I kind of do it simultaneously. So I've got eBay on this side, Etsy on this side, and because I do a lot of really similar items and I do them in bunches. So like right now, it's all t-shirts today because I already did the jackets and sweatshirts and jerseys that I sourced last week. So now it's all t-shirts. So it's really easy because I can just do sell similar. And then on Etsy, it's copy. And so what I'll do is I'll go sell similar, copy. So now I have both forms open at the exact same time. And then I create my title in eBay. So I have like my format for eBay, and then I copy and paste that title over to Etsy, and then I upload the pictures in both spots. And honestly, like with a t-shirt, I mean, it's only going to take me like maybe 6 minutes to do a listing. I mean, I've never really timed myself. The t-shirts are super fast and easy. And as far as like the listing on the Etsy side, because I'm creating it with the eBay side, it's maybe an extra 2 minutes because I got to add in some keywords and stuff like that. But again, because I'm doing like items, a lot of times a lot of the keywords can stay the same. I just have to change up a couple of them, but it's really, really fast.
I don't do anything sell similar usually. I start every single listing from scratch. I don't do drafts, and I don't do sell similar. It's much faster for me to create a brand new listing from scratch. And I know everybody's different, and everybody's process is different. But for me, I literally put list item, and I start everything from scratch. You know, that's just what works for me. I'm a very fast typer.
Yep.
And that's it.
One Witch Lady says, I'm in the cleaning a bunch of stuff to list process right now, and she actually would say process because she is Canadian.
It depends on where she's from in Canada.
I don't know. One Witch Lady, do you say process? We want to know. Oh, and Jen Lee was really excited about my Tommy Hilfiger bag I got new in the box. She's pretty stoked about it.
It's kind of a sweet bag.
It's pretty awesome. So Ragnar Deckerson Resells wants to know what can be listed on Etsy. So originally Etsy was all about handcrafted items, so it had to be something that you made yourself. And then at some point within the last few years, they expanded it, and now it's basically 3 different things that you can do. It can be things that you make yourself, or made by other people. So basically it's things you make yourself or that you commission to be made.
Right.
So that means
handmade, not mass produced.
So that means you can pay somebody else to make it for you, but you have to be the one having it made. But that's not necessarily, that's where it gets confusing because they also do like the t-shirts and stuff like that. And I wouldn't call that handcrafted.
No, they have a lot of gray area now.
There's gray area now. So basically stuff you make yourself or stuff that you commission to be made, crafting supplies, and vintage. And vintage encompasses a lot of things like clothing, but it's also like movies and music and stuff like that. Household goods.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more of a gray area, but basically the only thing I use Etsy for is vintage. I don't do any of the other stuff. And vintage, by their definition, is anything 20 years old. So it has to have been made before 2000 if it's going to fall within the vintage thing. But yeah, if you go search on Etsy, you'll see new t-shirts, but it's because whoever's selling it, they're having them made, if that makes sense. I mean, it's all a little bit, but I like the vintage side of it. So
yarn, you could sell yarn on Etsy. Sure.
See? One Witch Lady says process, and
so does Allison.
Well, because Allison's Canadian too, and washroom. But anyway, yeah, it's funny because my dad's from Minnesota. He moved when he was 18. His older siblings have much stronger accents. He's never really had an accent that I could hear for the most part, but he does say sorry. So I think that's kind of funny. We've always thought it was funny that he said sorry. He does not say process though.
I think we're
oh yeah, we're over time. Jeez, that went fast. Last time I looked, it was like we still had 20 minutes left, and then bam, half an hour gone. All right, guys, we got stuff that we need to do. I'm gonna go get a little snickety snackety. Maybe we can mix up one of those salads. It was pretty good that we had last night. Have that for lunch. We're gonna go eat some lunch. I gotta switch over her handling time and her business policies. I gotta do the same for me. Hopefully I can bust out a good 10 listings or so, and then I got a bunch of other errands and
packing
computer stuff to do and blabbity. The packing I'm saving for late tonight. I'm not going to worry about it right now. But anyway, guys, we got work to do. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Next time you see us,
we'll be in Rhode Island.
We'll be in Rhode Island.
It will be Sunday. Like I said, we will put it in the Boss Facebook group as far as the time for Sunday. Just picture East Coast Sunday morning. I'm betting probably, we have to do early breakfast Sunday morning, so it's probably going to be between morning and afternoon, so we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out, guys. We'll figure it out. Anyway, we love you guys. Thanks for watching and hanging out with us.
Bye.
Go do some good work and get some stuff done and boss up and whatnot and kiss your puppies if you have them. Bye.
Bye.